in there like swimwear, dude. Yeah, no rehearsal. It's a little tough with no rehearsal, but we'll move right on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi GP 2024. Here for the very first super fight of the day, Danny.
Yeah, we got a couple juvenile blue belt super fights, some purple belt super fights. Those are going to come up before the Absolute No-Gi GP bracket starts. Really looking forward to those, Jake.
Just waiting for the officials to bring these two referees out.
Yeah, Jake, I wanted to talk about this a little bit, is that we have these color belt super fights opening up the card. First time the IBJJF has ever done this at a Grand Prix event. Really cool thing. I think it's something that not only, obviously, these color belt athletes are looking forward to, but also their professors. Some of the other black belts even talked about in the press conference yesterday how excited they were for these younger kids to get an opportunity on such a big stage.
Well, it's so huge, right? And if you're trying to develop your career as a young jiu-jitsu athlete, being able to share the stage with these high level, I mean, really the celebrities of our sport, it's huge for their development. And I think I like that the IBJJF is providing a platform for these high level, up and coming younger competitors to be able to showcase their skills and develop a name for themselves before they get to black belt.
Absolutely. And on the lower left of your screen, you can take a look at these prelim super fights. We got Max Schwartz, Jonathan Anderson leading it off, Felipe Goulart, Graham Nascimento, Stephen Gomez, Lucas Oliveira, Mia Funegra, Isabella Agdepa, Nada Tenka, Caleb Nascimento, and then our last fight of the prelims is going to be Sarah Galval, Sabrina Lorenzo.
Yeah, great list there. Definitely very excited. That's a great undercard, Danny.
Amazing undercard. A lot of AOJ athletes on that undercard. A couple Atos athletes as well. 6 AOJ athletes on the card tonight. 5 Atos athletes on the card.
Naturally. Down here in Costa Mesa, California, going to have some AOJ representation, being one of the most prolific gyms out here in Costa Mesa. Atos Jiu-Jitsu out of San Diego, another highly touted gym. Andre Gonval's daughter, Sarah Gonval, was actually the main event of the, let's call it the main event of the prelims. So definitely a great list. Here we go.
IBJJF Absolute Grand Prix, No-Gi. The first fight will be a super fight. 5-minute fight in the featherweight division of the juvenile division. Representing Art of Jiu-Jitsu, Max Schwartz.
Max Schwartz of Art of Jiu-Jitsu in the white gi coming out to the mats. 5-minute juvenile fight in the featherweight division. Max, one of 6 Art of Jiu-Jitsu athletes that we're going to see on the card tonight.
And you can hear the loud support of the kids class at the Art of Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Only 16 years old here on the mats right now. Big opportunity for young Max Schwartz.
And representing Gracie Baja, Jonathan Anderson.
Jonathan Anderson in the blue Gracie Baja gi. Also has a lot of support here in Costa Mesa from his Gracie Baja teammates.
One thing you're going to see today is there's always going to be one white gi, one blue gi. That makes it easier for the referee to correctly make calls and easier for the viewers at home to know who's who. Double guard pull to start.
Max comes up on top, gets the advantage. Jonathan trying to play with that lasso. Double sleeve control for Jonathan Anderson on bottom.
One thing that always just baffles me, Danny, about these younger competitors is they grapple with the poise of a veteran. They're really patient. They have solid fundamentals. And even right here, what you're seeing is Max Schwartz responding to this. I mean, Anderson's really trying to pull him up over the head, try to get him off balance, and he's just sinking his weight real low, trying to find an opportunity potentially to pass. with that head control. But that spider guard on the right leg of Anderson is doing a really good job of preventing any passing from the left side.
The advantage that was originally awarded to Max was called back. So it was ruled that Jonathan Anderson pull guard first and establish himself as the bottom player. Max has some really, really good guard passing, Jake, and amazing transitions once he's able to get around the legs. A lot of really creative back attacks that he uses to get his opponents back, get the seatbelt, get the hooks, and then set up his finishes.
You see that it looks like Jonathan Anderson is really trying hard to get under that leg. He's trying to use that right foot to lift above his own head. You see now Max Schwartz responding with a grip on that leg. But look, he's even using this butterfly hook on the ankle to potentially try to find the single leg X position.
So don't lose the chance. Don't miss the chance.
Yeah, interesting setup. I believe we used to see Michelle Nicolini play with those grips quite a bit. Now Jonathan switching it up, underhooking the leg. Looks like he's going for a K-guard style setup into the X guard.
Max Schwartz keeping his elbow connected to the knee. Very smart in this position. It's going to prevent Jonathan Anderson from bringing his head any closer, and he'll keep his arms separated away, and just like that, brings his leg back. Oh, now it looks like he's getting a little tighter, Danny.
Max starting to get a little bit better position on top. We're over 2 minutes into this blue belt juvenile super fight here at the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix.
Trying to pass to that left side, look for a quick leg drag attempt.
Max had a really amazing year in 2023. Took over the Europeans, the Pans, and the Worlds in the juvenile division. Now he's got that cross pant grip, really making some progress.
Tough position for Anderson on bottom.
Jonathan trying to use that top leg, his left leg in this case, to ward off this cross grip.
Well, Max Schwartz keeping his head so close. Look how close he's keeping the head. You can tell that's a problem. Jonathan Anderson trying to push it away, but Max just keeps putting the pressure forward. It's exactly what he needs to do in this position when he gets a small opening like this.
It's a really difficult guard pass to deal with for the bottom player. It's a pass we saw quite a bit at the last World Championships. Saw Lucas Pinheiro use it a lot. It's something that's been picking up steam as a passing style for quite a while now.
And Max not switching to the other side, really persevering on this side, something I like to see. I find that a lot of competitors, sometimes younger competitors, will try to switch to something else very quickly, but he's staying true to this. Speaks a lot to the discipline he's probably receiving down there from the Mendez brothers at Art of Jiu-Jitsu.
Ends up letting go of that cross grip. Jonathan trying to work back to this lasso, lets go of it for a moment.
Some urgency out of the corner of Jonathan Anderson, of Gracie Baja. As he does, I would say, in this position, 1 minute to go, he needs to get busy. He needs to make an advantage or a sweep happen. Potentially turn the tide in his favor, because right now it's been all Max Schwartz passing attempts.
Nice long step attempt by Max Schwartz. Now he's back to that cross grip, trying to find that collar with his left hand.
45 seconds.
Very impressive guard retention from Jonathan Anderson. And we're coming up on the 30-second mark in this juvenile blue belt super fight.
30 seconds, trying to fit that left De La Riva all the way through, possibly make a sweep happen. Max Schwartz keeping his base.
15 seconds left, still no score. Jonathan Anderson looks like he's trying to come up. Now he underhooks the leg again.
Can he make a sweep happen here with only 8 seconds left? Looks like Max Schwartz understands the severity of the situation, keeps his base solid. And that will be the end of the match. Goes down completely tied across the board, but you got to think Max Schwartz, with the aggression and the passing, not being in any really apparent danger, will probably receive the judge's nod here.
Max didn't earn any advantages for his pass attempts, but those did seem to be the most aggressive and offensive moves of the match. So it's going to go to a referee's decision.
Let's see it.
And it's unanimous for Max Schwartz out of Art of Jiu-Jitsu.
Max Schwartz, representing Art of Jiu-Jitsu.
Great performance from both Jonathan Anderson and Max Schwartz. What a great way to open this card, Jake.
Absolutely. You saw really high-level jiu-jitsu out of just, they're juvenile competitors displaying very high-level fundamentals and patience. And you could see Max Schwartz, what he was doing the entire match. He was just so poised. He understood that he wasn't in a position to give up points. He wasn't in a position to even give up an advantage. And so let's take a little look at the replay of some of the action so you can see just what we're talking about here. I mean, the ability of Max to stay resolute, just continuing to go for this single pass. He was just going to one way, and it was intelligent of him to do so. Suppose we may get a replay. But I could also eloquently and beautifully describe it to you, Danny.
Really fun way to kick off this card with a blue belt juvenile super fight, and we've got another one coming up right now.
This will also be a 5-minute juvenile lightweight division fight. Representing Art of Jiu-Jitsu, Felipe Goulart.
Second Art of Jiu-Jitsu competitor about to take the mats. Felipe Goulart in the white gi. Felipe, just like Max, had an incredible 2023. Took double gold at the Europeans, Pans, and Worlds in the juvenile division. Also took double gold at the Worlds No Gi and the Pan No Gi. Really aggressive guard. Really looking forward to him competing.
BJJ, Graham Hanley.
Graham Hanley out of Marco Nascimento Jiu-Jitsu in the blue gi, taking the mats. Graham, 23 years of age.
Walking out as a designer. I haven't heard designer in several years. Here we go.
And here we go, Graham Nascimento in the blue gi. Felipe Goulart in the white gi. Double guard pull.
Referee seems to think that Nascimento did not, in fact, pull guard at all. So right up. Look at this. Immediately Goulart getting under the leg.
Looks like he's looking for that second pan grip. Makes the grip with his left hand. It's going to be a good sweeping position for Felipe Goulart.
Something we've seen Kaynan Dalbra, who will be competing later on, do a lot. Immediately
Beautiful
gets the
sweep
sweep.
by Felipe Goulart. That's going to be 2 points.
Landing in the closed guard.
Graham has some really nice triangles and a great closed guard. Felipe able to open up the guard, moving side to side.
Oh, this is a great position for Goulart. And good response from Nascimento to get his hips out to the side. He lost the hip line in that fight of the double under and immediately responded by getting his hips out and getting back into his guard position. Now, man, really having to invert to stop the aggression of Goulart.
Great job switching sides there on the pass by Felipe Goulart. Approaching the edge of the mat. They're going to go right back to the center. Really strong start to this match by AOJ's Felipe Goulart. Pulled guard, swept his opponent. Now on top, trying to pass the tricky and technical guard of Graham Nascimento.
Yeah, Graham Nascimento inverting either way over and over and over to potentially look for one of these arms, and he's having to respond to the pressure. Now Goulart's scooping up the hips a little bit tighter. Looks like this could be a much more concrete passing position for him.
Really nice stack by Felipe Goulart. Good head position now. Gets the 3 points for the guard pass.
Just at the end of it, too. Graham had just gotten out of it right after being on the receiving end of that 3. Now 5 points and 1 advantage for Felipe Goulart.
I like how Felipe tries to stack his opponent every time he tries to recover the guard, throwing that top leg over.
And this is very tiring, Danny, for the competitor on bottom to have to continually defend the guard pass, get out of side control into just another defense of the guard pass. It is exhausting, even in a 5-minute fight, rather.
Graham doing a good job recovering from bad positions, but Felipe is just right back on it, trying to chain his passes together.
Looked like he had a little bit of a look on an omoplata there.
Halfway through, Felipe Goulart leading Graham Nascimento 5-0. Also has 2 advantages.
Now Nascimento's going to have to let that close guard shine here, down 5 points.
Yeah,
Not a lot of time to work.
You can hear his corner telling him to push the pace. They know he needs to make up quite a large point deficit. So he's got to start getting aggressive.
Trying to break down the posture, maybe ride his legs a little higher.
2 minutes left. Felipe trying to open up that close guard, gets his left knee in the middle. Opens up Graham's guard.
Look for that triangle that you mentioned earlier, Danny.
Felipe very aware of it.
Yeah, one thing that you brought up before, Danny, that's just ringing true right now is Felipe's always looking for the underhook to be able to stack the guard. Whether it's one underhook under the leg or the other, he's always looking to pass one way or the other by elevating the hips. And I think it's very difficult for Nascimento to deal with being the taller competitor.
Graham trying to jump to a triangle.
Pulling the head down.
Felipe just so aware of it. Once again, underhooking that leg with his left arm. Disconnecting. And there is less than 1 minute left in this juvenile blue belt super fight. Felipe Goulart of Art of Jiu-Jitsu leading Graham Nascimento by a score of 5-0. Really impressive display of guard passing. Also had a beautiful sweep to open the match up, Jake.
Yeah, and ever since he got that sweep, he's really dictated the pace. And this is what we saw a little bit earlier by Max Schwartz. I think that this is a common AOJ style passing that they like to use because Max Schwartz did the same thing. Kaynan does this style of passing a lot as well, just opening up, either cross-facing or grabbing that near side collar and stiffening out that bottom leg. It's very difficult to deal with the passer when they have that grip orientation.
Felipe doing a great job avoiding all of Graham's attacks. Graham was looking for more there at the end. Time's going to expire, and it's going to be Felipe Goulart of Art of Jiu-Jitsu who gets the victory. Second victory for AOJ out of 2 fights on the night so far.
Yep, representing in their hometown of Costa Mesa, California.
You talked about the composure some of these juvenile blue belts have shown, Jake, and that was a great display of just being well-rounded at such a young age.
Yeah. Yeah, Felipe Goulart, 23 years old.
And your winner is...
Understood. A little bit of a typo on the screen there, but Felipe Goulart. It looks like it could be 23. Has older features. Anyway.
We're going to take a look at a replay from this match.
Here's our
replay. Felipe Goulart comes out to the mat. Graham Nascimento. Here's the early sweep with the double pan grip. Amazing finish. Puts his opponent on his back, scores 2 points. Now we see some of this stack passing that Felipe did so well throughout the match. Beautiful head position there. Gets the guard pass. Graham tried to jump for a triangle late in the match, but Felipe, well aware of the attacks, defended him beautifully. Comes away with the points.
We saw that guard passing. I mean, it really was the key, the tail of the tape for the rest of the fight, right? But ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more action after this short break.
the 7-minute adult male kettlebell featherweight match. Representing Arts of Jiu-Jitsu, Steven Gomez. And now, representing UACTP.
And we are back with our third super fight of the night. This time we are in the purple belt adult division. This is a featherweight match. Another AOJ athlete, and Steven Gomez, he's in the blue gi. He's gonna be taking on Lucas Oliveira. Lucas representing UACTP. This is gonna be a fun one. Always a fun division. Featherweight.
Yeah, very impressed with the matchmaking of the IBJJF for this Grand Prix. So far, it's been a great display of jiu-jitsu. And here we go. Oliveira in the white. Steven Gomez in the blue. A little bit of spin from Oliveira. I like that.
Steven recently won the Europeans in Paris, France, 2024. He's had a great career at purple belt.
Keep that lapel away. Good, good, good. Control that top leg. Beautiful. You have your frame. You have your frame.
Interesting position here now for
You have your frame. You can get back up.
both athletes. Steven looked like he was trying to get under the legs.
Keep fighting for the inside position. Yeah,
This is a 7-minute purple belt adult match.
Just feet off the floor. Right foot's in a good spot.
Steven Gomez immediately began to invert, and you see Lucas has kept that foot right against really the lower abdomen and even into the groin to prevent the inversion. Because if he allows Steven Gomez to really shove that De La Riva hook through or beat the hip to the outside, the AOJ competitors invert so well. And so you need to take the precautionary measures to ensure that you're not going to get your back taken in a split second.
Beautiful.
Both athletes receive a penalty for inactivity. You can hear Steven's corner telling him to come up. But it's going to be Lucas Oliveira who comes up on top.
Keep square. Fight that hip grip. Yep. Try to get your knee out of the frame.
Steven underneath the leg. Steven in a good position now to come up on top.
Now we get on. Good. Now we get on. Now we get on.
Gets the sweep. 2 points for Steven Gomez.
You have your leg. Good. Nice. You have to control the legs. You can get close guard. It's good. Yep. Inside. Look under the armpit. You know. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Steven has Professor Guy Mendez, IBJJF Hall of Famer, in his corner.
Past the body. Strip that grip.
Lucas has 2022 featherweight world champion Isaac Doderlein
Yep.
coaching him.
You're getting there, Steve. You're getting there.
Get good grips, move the legs out of the way.
Yep.
Steven trying to disengage, do some long range passing,
Nice, nice. Keep going, keep going.
Keep fighting now. Keep fighting.
improving his position, now starting to put some pressure on Lucas with this over-under style pass, Jake.
Yeah, we're seeing shades of the former 2 competitors on the card as well. Steven Gomez implementing a lot of the same strategy that a lot of the AOJ competitors are taught to as the passer, and for good reason. I mean, it's very effective. Straight, and basically trying to remove one of the legs out of the equation, it seems.
Right leg now.
Nice.
Oh,
Good
big
throw
leg
by
drag.
Steven Gomez.
Attack the head, attack the
On
head.
that front headlock,
Good.
it's going to be an advantage for Gomez.
Stick.
Wow, big movement.
More leg drag. Look here.
Great job mixing up the styles of passing too. Looked like he was using some double under pressure passing, then he mixes it up, tries to disengage and throw the leg by. Nice combination and transitions from Steven Gomez.
Move it around, move it around.
It's a very hard passing style to defend, speaking from experience, when somebody's able to apply pressure, and then just all of a sudden they're passing around. They're doing the loose style passing. And usually some of the best guard passers in the world are masters of mixing up those 2 styles of passing.
Yep. top, still top, still top.
Right there. You got it. Right there.
13
Hey.
points at an advantage.
Get the good position. Good position. Yeah. Okay. Focus on that
Lucas
bottom
back
leg.
to this
Focus on that
lasso
bottom
position
leg.
with his
Good.
left leg.
Keep pumped. Beautiful. Beautiful. We know the game here.
Steven
We
with
know
his
the
knee
game.
in the middle.
Lucas able to find possibly a little more comfortable of a position. It looks like he's had a hard time finding comfort in the guard, an ability to set up a solid attack because of the consistency of Gomez.
Okay. Foot right. You know where to put the foot. There you go. Now it's there. It's right
Now
there.
in the collar sleeve position.
Heavy hips.
Nice,
Let's go.
nice. Good foot.
Position is Professor Isaac Doderline does extremely well.
Hook. Heavy hips.
Very good, very good, very good, very good. Very good.
Gomez elevating the hips.
Nice, good foot.
Looking for a pass around to the outside.
Really good position now by Steven Gomez. Gets Lucas to turn to his knees. Hard to see from our angle what grips Lucas has. Looks like he's framing on Steven's right arm. Trying to push the sleeve away.
Try to adjust the right hand now. The right hand needs to have a good grip now so you can circle
So
back.
far, impressive discipline out of Lucas Oliveira. But he's in a tough spot right now and needs to be very careful how he continues to defend this position. And he doesn't. And time is winding down. Time is not your friend in the colored belts when you only have, I mean, in this case, 7 minutes.
This pressure with the head in like this.
Coming up on 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this purple belt adult featherweight match. Steven Gomez on top in the blue gi, leading 2-0 over Lucas Oliveira, who's on bottom in white. Nice little tilt by Lucas Oliveira.
Get that right foot back in the picture. Try to get your right foot back into inside position, deep lasso. Good. The right foot, let's try to hook the armpit. Beautiful hook.
Nice, very good.
Beautiful.
Look,
Now we
look,
can play the
look,
game.
look,
Lucas
look,
now
look.
Hey!
Playing some De La Hiva. Looked like he was going for some sit-up guard.
Don't give the points. Don't give the points. Just break the grip.
Controlling that
Just give his shoulders
left
to the
sleeve
mat.
grip of
Just sit
Steven
on the mat.
Gomez. See if he tries to off-balance him and come up for a single leg style sweep.
You're gonna pass now. Let's go.
If Lucas wants to be able to get up on this single, he's going to have to get that right leg off the hip. But you see Steven doing a great job of keeping that grip.
Push it out.
Lucas, yep. You got the grip now. You got the grip. We know what to do.
1 minute 30 seconds left for Oliveira to make up this deficit.
Good. Okay, we're back in. Let's get to the legs. Good.
Pulls
Good,
guard
good,
back
good.
into his De La Hiva.
Yep. Belly button.
Not a whole lot of time left to work. Coming up on 1 minute left.
Good. Yep, we got the...
Steven steps over the leg. Now starting to drive into Lucas.
Good.
Use a more
That pummel.
pressure-based style.
Fight that leg in. Good. Now Lucas, let's see
Oh,
something
looking
here.
to shoot up a triangle.
Now I really want you to think off
45
balance.
seconds.
Let's find it. Let's find it. We got it.
40 seconds. If you keep the last one,
Steven with another throw-by attempt.
Back in.
Good recovery by Lucas, who gets back to the lasso position.
Good. Let's go.
But there's only 25 seconds left in this match. Lucas down 2 points. Steven doing a great job maintaining his pressure, making it really difficult for Lucas to set up any attacks. Lucas now looks like he's trying to roll through for potential omoplata.
Let's go. We can make something happen here.
Really trying to pull out all the stops here, but with 10 seconds left, looks like AOJ is going to be up 3-0 here in Costa Mesa, California.
Steven Gomez, Art of Jiu-Jitsu, gets the victory. And like you mentioned, Jake, that's 3 victories for Art of Jiu-Jitsu in the first 3 matches here at the Absolute No-Gi GP.
One thing I've noticed from their pursuit, at least when they're on top, right? They do a good job. If they start out in the guard, they get the sweep. And then once they're on top, they're so safe. They're efficient with their movements, and it's very hard to score back. And so we're going to see. They have more competitors competing on the card. We'll see if anybody takes notes and tries to counteract that in any sort of a way. But great job, Steven Gomez.
And your winner is Steven Gomez, representing Art of Jiu-Jitsu.
Steven Gomez gets his hand raised. GP Super Fight Champion. 3 matches so far, 2 at Blue Belt Juvenile, both won by AOJ competitors, and now Stephen Gomez wins this super fight in the Purple Belt Adult Featherweight division.
All right, here's a replay. That man right there, Stephen Gomez, victorious over Lucas Oliveira. On bottom, looking to invert right away. We see Lucas had to immediately respond, start playing a little bit more defensively, which gave Stephen the ability to immediately come up, and then it was just a tale of passing, similar to what we've seen out of a lot of the AOJ competitors today, just putting consistent pressure and not allowing a lot of openings to score back or even get an advantage.
Yeah, scored the sweep early in the match, held on to that lead. Definitely was trying to pass the guard and move forward. Lucas Oliveira had great guard retention, was able to ward off the passes, but Stephen held on to the lead, gets the victory, the 3rd one for AOJ of the night.
We're moving right along, Danny, getting this undercard. We're well underway now. Got 3 more matches on this undercard before we get into our 2024 IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix bracket.
And now,
3 more Purple Belt
the next
matches.
super fight of the night, we have an adult female Purple Belt light feather 7-minute match. Representing Art of Jiu-Jitsu, Mia Funegra.
Mia Funegra, representing Art of Jiu-Jitsu, coming out to the mats in the white gi. Mia had a really dominant career as a blue belt in the juvenile division. Made her adult purple belt debut at the recent Europeans in Paris, France. Had an amazing performance. And now she's ready for her first IBJJF GP super fight.
And representing Oceanside Jiu-Jitsu, Isabella Agdepa.
Isabella Agdepa in the blue gi, representing Oceanside Jiu-Jitsu. 19 years of age. Also her first IBJJF GP super fight.
Come on, listen to my voice, Isabella. Believe in yourself.
Isabella pulls guard. Tries to sit up and hug the leg.
And once again, the same style of passing implemented right away. Mia Funegra immediately gets past the guard. Good turtle to avoid the full score, but that'll be an advantage for Funegra.
Timing on that long step was beautiful, Jake.
Look at that, not even letting go of that pank grip on the feet. Turns that into a takedown. They were on the feet for over 3 seconds, so that will be 2 points for Mia Funegra as she now implementing a knee cut. Fluid passing.
Amazing transition from the takedown into the knee cut. Now trying to get to the back. Great job by Isabella getting that pank grip, slowing Mia down.
Yeah, I'm impressed by Isabella's ability to avoid the full score, right? And she's able to get out of the tough situation and find her way to the feet.
Mia looking for that cross pank grip.
Head inside.
But once again, just such an effective style of guard passing to control that bottom leg. It's something I imagine we're going to see several times tonight across competitors of different academies.
It's amazing how she's able to transition from her knee cut to a long step, all these to cross grip passing, back step, all these different styles of guard passing that she's just chaining together and combining, making it so difficult for Isabella to keep a strong guard and to retain it.
And if you notice, Isabella's left hand is now behind Funegra. And so, assuming that Mia is able to complete this guard pass, she will end up in a position where Isabella won't be able to turn away, which is something she's been doing over and over. She's been able to either turn away and get to her knees, or she's able to find a strong hip escape out. So having that arm behind in that situation would have prevented Isabella from being able to turn away.
Stepping over the leg again, now goes to a Toriando style pass. Gets another advantage. Great position now for the knee cut.
Head inside.
Trying to make a strong cross face with their right arm, controlling the hip with their left arm.
big, stay big.
Looks like she might be trying to pull out that lapel as she goes for this guard pass. Now this is a pretty left elbow in a good spot to be able to hopefully secure.
3 points for Mia Funegra. Great job keeping her opponent flat.
And Isabella has done a great job up until this point of preventing that 3 points from happening. But one guard pass defended and 2, 3. Man, it's just hard when Mia is just going over and over and over again and not letting up. It's difficult to stop for the 4th and 5th time.
It's that pressure over time that really makes things difficult for the guard player. Mia going to a north-south position, passes the guard again. She's going to try to take the back now.
One hook is in, looking for that second hook. And right into that knee cut position yet again, this time with a deep underhook.
Looks like Mia's trying to isolate that arm of Isabella. See if she steps over the head. Isabella trying to block that with her left arm. Mia in this really deep knee cut once again. Looks like just her foot is trapped. Up 8 points and 6 advantages in this purple belt adult super fight here at the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix.
That's good, yeah, that's good, that's good.
She goes, you gotta move.
Isabella trying to find a wrap around the leg, potentially turn this into a single leg, but a great sprawl by Funegra.
Mia's been able to pass the guard a few times, but Isabella's been able to recover. And although she hasn't been able to set up a really good position off her recoveries, still impressive that she's able to avoid some of these worst positions like the mount in the back that Mia's really, really good at getting to and finishing from.
Well, it's been very tough. She hasn't found an opportunity.
And now it looks like she's going for a Kimura.
Comfortably set something up, but you're right, Mia Funegra.
Coming up on that.
Hard to see what kind of wrap she had over the arm, but now Isabella finds her way on top. That's going to be 2 points.
Show that bottom leg.
Mia in a great position to sweep back. Double pant grips from the single leg X. Comes up on top. 2 more for Mia Funegra.
Isabella looks like she was trying just to get under that leg, and now Mia Funegra steps over for the arm bar.
Really nice creative attack there from Mia Funegra.
She has a bite on it. It's a little bit of an awkward angle, but now she's able to look like straight the arm out.
That arm is straight. Mia Funegra looking to finish this match.
Oh my goodness, that's a nasty bend on the arm.
Isabella with some amazing defense, but Mia puts her on her back again.
Wow. Isabella Agdepa, never say die attitude.
What a sequence. The setup from Mia Funegra, the defense from Isabella.
Control the bottom leg. Come up on that. Control the bottom leg.
Mia up 10-2. In control of this match. Tried to finish it there with the arm bar.
Way under. There you go. Stay on top. Nice. Be passy. Watch that arm.
And Isabella just continuing to push forward.
15 seconds, Isabella. Do what you can do.
10 seconds left. And Mia Funegra looks like she's going to lock up the 4th victory of the night for AOJ in 4 matches, Jake. Incredible stuff from their purple belt and juvenile team. And Mia gets the victory. Amazing performance from Mia Funegra. Her 2024 is off to a fantastic start.
You know, and I've said this a couple of times, I don't want to sound like a broken record, Danny, but what's really impressive for me is that we're seeing a lot of the same techniques implemented across the board from different AOJ competitors. And so for me to see across different levels, different ages, different belts, we're seeing the same techniques.
Your winner is
It's very impressive stuff.
Funegra, representing Art of Jiu-Jitsu.
Mia Funegra gets the victory. Another one for Art of Jiu-Jitsu. We're going to cut to a short commercial break, and we will be back with your next purple belt super fight. We are back at the 2024 IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. We got another purple belt super fight coming up.
We have a 7-minute adult male purple belt heavyweight match. Representing Atos Jiu-Jitsu,
Nata Tensa in the white gi representing Atos Jiu-Jitsu, training out of Atos HQ in San Diego, California, under IBJJF Hall of Famer Professor Andre Galval. Nata won the Absolute Division at the 2023 World's No-Gi in Las Vegas. Also won the Pans last year. Amazing competitor, and he's got a really tough opponent coming up here today.
And representing Marcio Andre Association, Caleb Nascimento.
Caleb Nascimento in the blue gi representing Marcio Andre Association. Caleb, just 17 years old, made his adult purple belt debut in Paris, France at the Europeans, where he took gold in the medium heavyweight division. Jake, pretty impressive stuff for such a young kid, already really high-level technique. Also has an incredible coach in Marcio Andre. You can really see that come through in his style.
I'm excited for this one.
Nata Tenka pulls guard. Nata known for having a really, really effective and tight straight ankle lock. Right now trying to use the collar sleeve. And have a reset back to the center of the mat.
A lot of intensity right off the bat out of both of these young competitors.
Have these guys competing in Caleb medium heavy or heavyweight, Nata heavyweight or super heavy. And although they're big, these guys are explosive and they're fast. Nata starts the match off with a sweep. Scores 2 points. Caleb Nascimento with the grip on the pants, trying to play some De La Riva. Really good at getting to the single leg X guard from his De La Riva and loading his opponents. Nata trying to beat that right leg. Caleb pushing him back away. Recovers his guard.
That was a great recovery as he felt the underhook coming on and he pushed him away immediately. It's a very interesting, patient style out of Tensa as well. He's borderline moving not at all when he's being patient.
Controlling that sleeve grip on Caleb's right arm. Caleb trying to circle his hand out in that grip battle. Dante trying to go for the knee cut. Great job by Caleb using that right leg. Push Nata away, create some space. Controlling that near side collar now. Saw quite a bit in his European matches. Setting up his sweeps from the De La Riva position, pummeling his left leg to the inside, sweeping from a single leg X style position. 2 minutes into this purple belt super fight, the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. Nata Tensa of Atos Jiu-Jitsu leading Caleb Nascimento by 2 points. Really evenly matched. 2 really exciting, young, up-and-coming competitors.
And Nascimento now has this double pant grip. He's trying to elevate with that right foot to potentially look for an opportunity to get under, possibly, and employ a single leg X style sweep that we saw Felipe Goulart do actually earlier today.
Yeah, last sweep so far with double pant grips, such an effective style of sweeping. Makes it much easier to come up on top and establish yourself as the top player when you really pull those pant grips in.
Currently, this pace definitely favors Nata Tensa. I mean, yeah, they're both gonna net penalties right now, but I mean, up by 2. Hasn't been put in a very dangerous position just yet. And with the time winding down with this slow style of passing, see a little more urgency now out of Nascimento. Still with that double pant grip.
Caleb able to put Nata down on his hips. Let's see if he can come up and establish the top position for his 2 points. Nata looked like he was going for that straight ankle lock position. I was telling you, Jake, he's very well known for. He's finished a lot of opponents in competition with.
You see Nascimento turning his toes towards Nata Tensa. Very important that he continues to do that. That's going to make it harder for Nata to turn belly down. He's also using that left foot on the inside. You see, right, this is actually a great angle of it. That left knee on the inside by Nascimento is preventing Tensa from being able to throw that right knee either over the hip like he's trying to do so now, or even just the whole leg itself all the way over to go belly down. You can see he's really trying to force it. Oh, and this is a much better look at it. Tight ankle lock attempt. Really arching it. You can see the strain on his face right now, forcing belly down.
Really putting his hip into it. Caleb trying to spin. Looks like Nata's foot was caught in the gi. He'll make the adjustment.
Big adjustment. Not even so much as a slight grimace on the face of Caleb Nascimento.
Caleb looks like he's trying to lift his hips, come up on top.
Wow.
Looks tight, but Caleb doesn't look like it's affecting him as of yet. Caleb now trying to come up on top, and he's up. Advantage for Nata for the ankle lock. 2 points for Caleb Nascimento for the sweep.
Look at this, Nata Tensa trying to get up on a sweep.
Back up to the feet.
Things just got a whole lot more interesting in this match, Danny.
Separated by just 1 advantage for that straight ankle lock attempt from Nata Tensa. Crowd's getting into it here now, Jake. Really interesting and fun sequence there. Nata going for that straight ankle lock. Caleb defends it beautifully, comes up on top. Nata gets the advantage.
It's remarkable.
Evens up the points.
It's just remarkable. Sorry, Danny, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's remarkable to me how Nata Tensa is arching the dickens out of Caleb Nascimento's foot, and he doesn't even make a face at all.
Now Caleb with his left knee in the middle, gonna try to pass this guard of Nata Tensa. Nata, beautiful sweep by Nata Tensa, 2 more points. Caleb looks like he's gonna return the favor. Comes up.
Look at Nata Tensa immediately spinning underneath, trying to make 50-50 position happen, and he does.
We're even on points, Nata up by 1 advantage.
Very impressed with Nascimento's ability to rally back after getting swept there.
Nata trying to stretch Caleb out.
There is an opportunity for a straight ankle lock attempt on this side as well with the 50-50.
Caleb trying to posture up, clear the legs of Nata, doing a good job. Nata trying to frame, readjust his position. 45 seconds left in this purple belt super fight here at the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. Nata Tensa currently leading Caleb Nascimento by just 1 advantage. Caleb trying to break out of this 50-50 position.
Tough spot to be if you're Caleb Nascimento. He has to get busy to make this advantage happen. But it's so tough. Nata Tensa understands the stakes.
Caleb drops down to his knees, trying to clear that knee line. Nata holding on to that grip. Clock is gonna wind down, and Nata Tensa is gonna win this purple belt super fight by 1 advantage in a really close and fun match, Jake.
Absolutely. I mean, for the first half of that match, very slow pace, but as soon as they got going, it was back and forth. Man.
Yeah, they really opened up there at the end. Exchange sweeps. And it was that straight ankle lock attempt from Nata that earned him the advantage and put him ahead in the match.
And your winner is Nata Kaynan, representing Octos Jiu-Jitsu.
Andre Gonval will stay in that coach's chair for his competitor, his daughter, Sarah Gonval, who will cap off this undercard. Great work by Nata Tensa. Really patient, measured approach, I would say, on top. But when Caleb increased the pace, Nata met it. And I think that is what really kept the lead for him. He noticed Caleb was really starting to bring up the intensity every time he would sweep back. And Nata did a great job of meeting that pace, Danny.
Yeah, we got a replay here now. We'll take a look at it. I love what you were just talking about, Jake. As one competitor upped the intensity and the pace, the other competitor matched it. Nata with a great sweep there.
Beautiful scissor sweep, very traditional.
Caleb immediately into his guard. Nata here going for that straight ankle lock. Arguably his best position. Caleb resists. Another sweep from Nata. Gets the victory, and it was that straight ankle lock that gave him the advantage. That was the tiebreaker after the points were even at 4. That was already our 5th super fight of the night, Jake. We got another one in the purple belt division coming up.
And there you see our ring announcer dressed to the nines, DeAndre.
And now for the 6th super fight of the night. This will be a 7-minute adult female purple belt lightweight match. Representing Octos Jiu-Jitsu, Sarah Galval.
Sarah Galval representing Octos Jiu-Jitsu in the blue gi takes the mats here at the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. Super exciting competitor. Training out of Octos HQ. Made her adult purple belt debut at the 2024 Europeans. Took gold in the lightweight division. Always exciting to watch. Her opponent, Serena Lorenzo, representing Dream Art. Just 18 years of age. Won the No-Gi Worlds back in December at the purple belt. Also won the Worlds and the Brasileiros in 2023 at blue belt before getting promoted. So these are some new purple belts and already some of the best athletes in their respective divisions.
All right, sending us into the main card. Very low stance by the Dream Art competitor.
Measured approach so far from both athletes. Sabrina pulls guard. Sarah trying to disengage and stacks Sabrina right off the bat. She's got her hips elevated off the mat. Really good grips. This is a good position for Sarah Galval, Jake.
Oh my gosh, and she immediately makes that collar grip. It looks like she's gonna secure this guard pass just in the first 40 seconds of the match, Danny.
Wow, Sarah Galval, 3 points. Less than a minute in.
A statement made here in the first minute by Sarah Galval.
What a start. For Atos Jiu-Jitsu, Sarah Galval. Sabrina trying to recover her guard.
So far doing a good job of doing so. Looking to get under the leg of Sarah Galval.
Sabrina has some really, really amazing attacks off of her back, specifically from her closed guard, amazing arm bars. Sarah doing a good job not letting Sabrina get to a solid guard position.
You're really sinking her base low and using that left hand as an anchor. You see the grip right there. That is what is chaining her and keep making it difficult for Lorenzo to invert underneath.
Absolutely electric start to this match. Sarah Galval passes the guard less than a minute in. Now trying to use some more pressure to build on that early lead. Now it looks like she's gonna try to hide her left foot in between the legs of Sabrina. You hear her corner calling for that.
This is a good way to make it happen right there. You see her inching her toes over the top. But Lorenzo.
You can hear her corner, Professor Andre Galval, calling for an Ezekiel. She's got her left arm around the neck. See if she tries to grab that sleeve on her right hand. There she goes. She's got the grip. Trying to feed her right hand next to the neck is Sabrina.
Now potentially turning this into an arm triangle from the top.
Sarah in a really good position now. Has one hook. Andre still calling for that Ezekiel.
Yeah, she's still in position to do it. If she feeds her left hand all the way through, she's just got to be careful not to slide over the top in going for the Ezekiel. That one hook will provide a solid anchor, but see Sabrina now turning to her back, probably going to transition this into the mount position, or at least try to. Still, once again, like you said, Danny, looking for that Ezekiel. This looks tight. Good
Advantage
defense
for Sarah for that Ezekiel.
Look at the pressure from Sarah Galval.
She's gonna get 4 points for this back mount position. Lots of pressure from Sarah. Really looks like she wants the finish here, Jake.
I mean, it has just been constant pressure. Starting out the match with that emphatic guard pass. And she's just not even let up. The pressure's only gotten tighter and tighter.
She's got the body triangle. Locked, really secure position for Sarah.
Not opting to try to flatten out Sabrina, looking to crank the shoulder. Instead, and try to find that hook. And plenty of time to work for Sarah Galval as well. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left. Riding a very comfortable lead.
The consistent pressure throughout the match has really made the difference and been the deal breaker. Sarah used it early on to pass the guard, kept pressuring her opponent, gets her way to the back mount. It's been all Sarah Galval in this final prelim super fight of the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. 4 more points for the Atos athlete. Now up 11-0 over Sabrina Lorenzo. got both her arms under Sabrina's. Now looks like she's trying to bring her right arm over the top. Locks the body triangle again. Secures her position on the back.
It's a very complete display of jiu-jitsu by Sarah Galvão. Passing the guard, getting to the most dominant position you can.
Trying to feed her right hand into the collar.
One minute.
Sabrina doing a good job defending from the back, not letting Sarah get the grip that she would need to finish this fight. 30 seconds left. Sarah Galvão leading this match 11-0 over Sabrina Lorenzo. Sarah, as we mentioned, won the Europeans just recently in Paris, France, her adult purple belt debut. Now looking to win her first IBJJF GP super fight. Just 10 seconds left.
A big smile on the face of Sarah Galvão right before she goes for this final submission attempt, trying to roll through.
Almost on the armbar. Sarah trying to finish. Oh, the arm straight. What a way to end this match. Sarah Galvão gets the victory.
Wow, and you can see how much it meant to Sarah Galvão to have that kind of performance. And I can't think of a better way for this undercard to be capped off. What a great performance. I mean, like I said, a complete display of jiu-jitsu, Danny. Passing the guard, getting to a tight position, taking the back, and nearly submitting at the very end.
And your winner is Sarah Galvão.
Sarah Galvão gets the victory in this final purple belt super fight of the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. Like you said, Jake, extremely complete performance. Passed the guard less than a minute into the match, and it was all Sarah Galvão from there.
Yeah, right away, she immediately opens up with this crazy pressure.
Let's take a look at this replay.
Yeah, talk us through it, Danny.
Sarah into this guard pass early on, scores 3 points. Nearly in on this head and arm choke, almost had an Ezekiel as well. Got to the back mount. Took the back a second time. Established a really big point lead, and then that went for this armbar finish at the end. She wasn't satisfied with winning by points. Before we toss to a commercial, just want to remind you guys that the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix is brought to you by Kings Kimonos. Go to kings.com, check out their gis, no-gi gear, and apparel. We're going to kick it to a break. We'll be back with some more action from the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix.
Back here in Costa Mesa, California at the hangar for the first round of the Grand Prix.
Absolute Grand Prix No-Gi. Representing Octos Jiu-Jitsu, Kaynan Duarte.
Kaynan Duarte of Octos Jiu-Jitsu ready to kick off this Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. Kaynan won the Absolute Grand Prix in the gi back in late 2022. Looking to be the first Absolute gi and no-gi champion here under the IBJJF banner. Kaynan, 26 years of age, has won the no-gi worlds, the no-gi pans, the world championships, the European championships.
And representing Detroit Jiu-Jitsu Syndicate, Heiam Rita.
And it's Heiam Rita who's going to be Kaynan's first opponent. American national champion without the gi. Has some amazing and really creative submission attacks. Dangerous opponent for anyone in the black belt division. Heiam recently training out a B team in Austin, Texas. He's made some changes in his training. And now he's ready for one of the biggest challenges of his career.
Yeah, Heiam, the relocation to B team to train with all of those incredible competitors down there. It's been great for his career. Now he's got an incredible test ahead of him in Bodoni and Duarte.
Kaynan starts the match, pulling guard.
Kaynan making an audible fake noise to Heiam Rita just now. You can see Kaynan had a little bit of a smile on his face.
Kaynan with that 2-on-1 grip. Trying to make a connection to Heiam.
Heiam has been a part of some of the biggest highlight reel moments in no-gi grappling.
2 points for Bodoni and Duarte. Open up the score.
Heiam, I would say, known for like these big athletic movements, very technical, very dangerous competitor. But Kaynan is very hard to score on. It's very hard to really find an opening on. And so we're going to see what tricks Heiam has up his sleeve.
Jake, I'd love to get your take on this, but in my opinion, I feel like when Kaynan's on top, he does such a great job of shutting down his opponent's guard game, regardless of the style of guard they play. Just so good at his positioning, his base, and staying safe while he sets up his guard passes.
Absolutely, yeah, and you can see that in the way that he grapples. He has an amazing win-loss ratio across competition. He's just very safe. He doesn't extend himself too far. And, I mean, you can even see it right here. Just keeping that right hand grip on the hip.
Really close on this knee cut now. Just has to get his right foot free. Heiam doing a good job recovering, gets that left leg over the top, creates some distance.
We need to keep an eye out for Kaynan to use, in this case now, his left hand. He might employ a different style of passing now, but he might use his left hand on the hip, the right hip of Heiam Rita. That's going to make it difficult for Heiam to use that right leg to defend. He just did that sequence earlier. You see it right there. You see this hip? Heiam is forced to throw that leg over the top. And this goes into what I was talking about earlier, Danny. I mean, Kaynan, it's no secret that he is an incredibly physically imposing competitor, but he's very patient and measured in his approach. He understands he has a lot of time to work. These matches at black belt, 10 minutes long.
Kaynan started the match with a sweep. Up 2 points right now against Heiam Rita. This is the first match of the Absolute No-Gi GP bracket. Kaynan, as we mentioned, won the Absolute GP in the gi back in late 2022.
Big underhook attempt. Quickly responded to by Heiam.
Kaynan steps over the leg again. His closest passes so far have been from knee cuts, Jake.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Heiam's ability. Oh, so far, up until that point, Heiam had done a great job of keeping that knee shield in. Kaynan found a way around it.
And that's going to be 3 points. Kaynan now up 5-0. Scores with the knee cut pass.
Heiam was doing a great job of keeping his hips in a position where he could bring his leg over the top and respond to the different passing attempts of Kaynan and Duarte, but Kaynan just found that very quick. knee cut position, kind of now looking to get some points with his knee on belly. Something you don't see a lot in no-gi. People going for the knee on belly points.
Heiam able to recover his guard, but Kaynan up 7-0.
That frame on the neck by Kaynan Duarte.
Trying to drive his right knee to the floor. Now back into a knee cut style position, gets his elbow in front of the leg. Good job by Heiam creating some space.
Kaynan taking big, deep breaths. Just floating over the top of the guard here. But not putting pressure in.
We are halfway through this opening round match in the Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. Kaynan representing Atos, up 7 points over Heiam Rita. Kaynan stapling that leg to the mat, using both his right knee and his right arm. Difficult position for Heiam Rita.
It looks like Heiam is trying to look for an opportunity, or rather create one, to get under the leg. It's very difficult. Kaynan doing a good job controlling the ankles.
Kaynan back into that knee cut. This one looks close.
Oh, right into the mount.
Beautiful transition from Kaynan Duarte. Knee cut right into the mount. He's got 4 minutes to work now in this really dominant position. It looks like he's trying to walk that right elbow up of Heiam Rita. Walking the arm up. We'll see if he tries to go for the head and arm or Katagatami finish. 14-point lead for Kaynan Duarte, Jake.
That knee cut directly into the mount. So he could have tried to secure from the side control, but just a quick reaction time. Mount, a bit of a unique position compared to the rest of dominant positions. You cannot get called for stalling from mount in the IBJJF rule set. So Kaynan has all the patience, all the time in the world from this spot.
Doing a great job keeping that right arm isolated. Keeping that elbow above Heiam's shoulder, making it really uncomfortable. Kaynan's got a really good head and arm choke, a great arm bar from here. Right now, it looks like he's just trying to wear Heiam out with this pressure. Trying to get his head on the opposite side of that arm to lock up the choke. Two minutes and 30 seconds left. Kaynan Duarte up 14-0 over Heiam Rita. Trying to get the finish now. He's got his head on the opposite side of the arm.
This really could be trouble.
Gets the submission. Kaynan Duarte of Atos gets a submission victory over Heiam Rita in the first round of this IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix.
Just an impressive performance by Kaynan Duarte. Doesn't get much more dominant than that, Danny.
Advancing to the semifinals, Kaynan Duarte, representing Atos Jiu-Jitsu.
Kaynan advances to the semis. He'll take on the winner of Dante Leone and Elder Cruz, who are on the same side of the bracket. Like you said, Jay, Kaynan dominant from start to finish. Yes. Swept early in the match, got to the top position, and once he was in the top, that was pretty much all she wrote.
Yeah, he took his time. He was very patient. Heiam was doing a great job of responding to the different guard pass attempts of Kaynan, but eventually ended up a knee cut right into mount, scooped the head and arm, and here we see a little bit more of his handiwork. That was the initial pass. by Kaynan Duarte. Got points there and in the knee on belly, and then gave up the position, was okay with just going for another guard pass, and then right here you see the powerful squeeze from the mount and the Katagatame. Submission victory punches his ticket to the semifinals. We're gonna go to a quick break, and then we are back for another quarterfinal matchup here soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Danny O'Donnell, Jake Watson on the call for this, our next quarterfinal fight.
Elder Cruz.
As Elder El Monstro Cruz makes his way to the mat.
Elder Cruz representing Checkmat. Won a world no-gi title this past December 2023 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Elder, very fun competitor to watch, amazing takedowns, great positional control on top. He's got a great matchup here against Dante Leone. Dante Leone, a two-time world no-gi champion, three-time pan no-gi champion. Dante, despite competing as low as lightweight, is challenging himself in this absolute no-gi Grand Prix. Says consistency is the main reason he decides to challenge himself in these open weight divisions. He wants to compete all the time. And he said competing in his weight class isn't enough to get him the amount of matches he wants to have.
I mean, this guy is the busiest no-gi competitor, I feel, in the modern era, up against Elder Cruz, who displayed brilliant strategy at the IBJJF No-Gi World Championship in 2023, taking out Roberto Jimenez, who was on an absolute tear that tournament, with really just great discipline, great wrestling fundamentals, even taking his foot off the gas in a position that a lot of people would have gone for the back in that match. You can go back and watch the replay of that.
Beat Roberto, beat Adam Wardzinski, had a great run, won his first world title, and he's feeling really confident after that gold medal performance, Jake.
Look at Dante Leone. Had a little bit of a bite on the arm and opted to transition to the legs off of it.
One of my favorite performances from Dante in 2023 was at the Pan No-Gi, competed at super heavyweight, won that division, and beat a No-Gi world champion in the final.
Yeah, that was absolutely...
Oh, Dante in on this inside heel hook. Elder trying to roll out of it.
Oh my goodness, this is gonna go out of bounds and award. It looks like it could potentially be either an advantage or 2 points for Dante Leone, depending on if the referee saw a submission in there at all, which apparently no submission. We're back neutral.
It's hard to see whether the submission was locked on as they got to the out of bounds. Looked like it was when they started rolling. But they are going to get reset. With no score on the board so far. A minute and a half in this quarterfinal match at the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix.
El Monstro inching forward, pushing right into the yellow.
This is a battle of two world no-gi champions. Dante winning titles in 2019 and 2022. Elder winning in 2023.
Dante once again looking to secure that same leg that he did before.
One thing Dante talked about yesterday in the press conference that was really interesting, he said one thing that gives him a lot of confidence in these open weight matches, or in these matches where he's outweighed by his opponents, is just how well-rounded his skill set is. He said he's very confident in his guard, he's got really flexible guard, has really good sweeps, has great pressure on top, really solid takedowns, and he feels like he can do it all, so he's not afraid to mix it up with guys who are heavier than him, just because he feels like his skill set is able to handle that weight disparity.
Yeah, he really is a very well-rounded competitor. In his own weight division, I feel like what we usually do see, just typically, is him apply that pressure, apply that knee-cut pressure, and just real strong base on top. But seeing him invert and nearly catch Elder Cruz in a heel hook just earlier, it kind of reminds you, he's a very, very well-rounded fighter.
Dante easily able to invert as Elder tries to move side to side. Elder trying to use lateral movement so far to put some pressure on Dante's guard.
Yeah, one thing about Elder Cruz, in the middle of a match, he's able to make an adjustment, and he probably felt like, oh man, I don't want to get my legs involved in anything Dante Leone wants to do. So he's adopting a little bit of a different style, it seems, in response to that dangerous situation earlier. And the lateral passing is a good way to do it, and passing just like this, putting pressure to the side, and a little bit of a look down there on the edge. But it's these mid-match adjustments by Elder Cruz that really, I would say, set him apart. And it was one of the reasons, again, why we said earlier, he won the 2023 IBJJF No-Gi Gold.
Dante trying to engage.
Earlier, Dante utilized that right arm underhook to fake the armbar attempt and go for the under the leg setup. See if he goes for that again.
Plays really well from this knee shield, reverse De La Hiva style position. Really great at coming up on single legs and using those to finish his sweeps. Elder's just doing a good job managing that distance on top, making that really difficult so far for Dante.
Oh, Elder now getting a little bit tighter.
Gets Dante to turtle. Dante sits right through, back to his guard. Coming up on the halfway point, still no score in this IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix quarterfinal. Elder Cruz in the white rash guard taking on Dante Leone in the black rash guard. Winner of this match will go on to take on Kaynan Duarte, who won his first round match by submission over Heiam Rita.
I don't believe Kaynan and Dante have fought before. Elder Cruz has shared the match with Kaynan Duarte on separate occasion.
Actually fought in the gi, the Absolute Grand Prix that Kaynan won back in 2022. So far this match razor close. Although it looked like he was trying to close the distance for a bit. Now trying to stack, come on the leg of Dante. Beautiful guard recovery by Dante Leone.
Elder picking up the pace, dancing side to side. Right near the edge again.
Jake, are there any adjustments you're looking for from either of these athletes?
Well, Elder Cruz can do this all day. That's the reality. And he has, this is signature Elder Cruz, is just, and it's frustrating for the other person to fight against, but he will implement the same game plan if it's working all day. The side-to-side passing, keeping his legs safe. I would say if you're Elder Cruz, you can continue doing what you're doing because he is creating, it's getting a little closer every single time. But if I'm Dante Leone, that's the thing, is passing to the side. It's very frustrating to deal with. You gotta wonder at what point is Dante gonna opt to just try to wrestle Elder. But Elder, with the wrestling pedigree he has, it's a tough spot to be. I think a position like this where his legs are more involved is where Dante can get a little bit more busy, trying to invert, trying to make something happen. But when Elder's on the outside, he's just able to keep his legs so far away. 2 minutes, 40 seconds.
Elder's a really strong guard passer. We talked about his lateral movement, but Dante's done a great job just pummeling his legs, inverting, making all the adjustments with his hips to retain his guard against someone who's such a high caliber guard passer like Elder.
Oh, it's very impressive. And he hasn't, I mean, the guard pass attempts haven't gotten too close, but Dante's had one offensive, really offensive attack work out to where they went out of bounds, and I thought that maybe he would have even gotten 2 points for it. The referee saw something I did not, of course. But it's just the style of passing that Elder uses. He's able to just pull back at any point that he feels any danger. He just pulls back, and he keeps the movement up. He continues moving side to side, and he can keep this pace up. And Dante talking to him a little bit. Now Elder going to the side. A little tighter now.
Dante trying to get to a single leg X.
Oh, here we go. Dante
Leone! For another outside heel hook.
On a heel hook. This could be it. This looks tight.
Oh, Dante tried to use it to come up on top. Gets the advantage for it.
And that changes everything, Danny. One advantage for Dante Leone, and Elder Cruz is officially behind.
Wow, it looked like it was a good guard pass setup from Elder Cruz. Dante countered, turned it into a heel hook attempt of his own. And now he is up one advantage with 1 minute left.
And now you can see why Elder was passing around in the way that he was all fight, so that a situation like that wouldn't happen. And the moment that Dante Leone got a bite, really took advantage of it. I mean, this whole match is different. This whole match, just the whole tide turned in one moment.
Elder really trying to step up the pace now. He's got to make up this advantage difference.
Dante has to be very careful to not give up this pass.
Oh, Dante throws his left leg over the arm.
Beautiful work from Dante Leone, keeping himself safe here at the very end. 20 seconds. Oh, and this right here is exactly what Dante Leone needed.
Just 10 seconds left. Dante Leone up one advantage over Elder Cruz.
Wow, what a beautiful adjustment, Danny. My gosh. Down for most of the match, and Dante Leone makes back that deficit with that deep heel hook attempt. And he's going to move on. He's going to face Kaynan Duarte in the semifinal.
That's going to be an amazing match, Jake. I'm very much looking forward to that one. Like you said, great performance from Dante Leone. Had that outside heel hook attempt, earned him the advantage, and he gets the victory here in the Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix.
Dante seems a little disappointed in how that match turned out, but really great job of taking the opportunity that was afforded him, right? Elder Cruz made it very difficult all match. The side-to-side passing, his legs were behind him the entire time, and he's so consistent that Dante, two opportunities really to throw an attack, and both times was able to secure a heel hook. Neither time was a submission there, but both times it led to something greater.
Let's take a look at the replay here. Battle of two No-Gi World Champions. Dante on the early heel hook. Forces Elder to roll. Starts as an inside heel hook. I believe he switched it to an outside. Elder trying to pass. Dante doing amazing work with his guard retention, keeping his legs in front of Elder. And it was this outside heel hook attempt late in the match. Elder did a great job defending, but it was enough to earn Dante an advantage. Locks up a strong position at the end, holds on for the victory. And like you said, Jake, he'll go on to face Kaynan Duarte in the semifinal of the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. We're going to cut to a short break. We'll be right back with more action from the No-Gi Grand Prix. We are back at the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. We've had 2 matches in the Grand Prix so far. Coming up on our third, we're going to have Giancarlo Bodoni and Patrick Gudio, Jake.
Oh, my goodness. 2 just very big, strong competitors, Danny. I mean, what more can be said about Giancarlo Bodoni and the career that he's had in no-gi, and Patrick Gudio?
Yeah, what I love about Giancarlo, and we were talking to him about it yesterday at the press conference, he started his career on the IBJJF circuit, was competing in the gi. Then he decided to make a change and compete without the gi. Now he's back here at the Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. One of the most technical no-gi competitors on the planet. Was really excited when he was announced to be part of this Grand Prix. And Patrick Gudio, very accomplished competitor. I think also known for the most part for his gi accomplishments. Won the Europeans, won the Brasileiros in the gi. Lately, he's been competing more no-gi, was very active in 2023. Felt like that activity and that consistency being on the competition mats really prepared him well for this Grand Prix.
And he's had great matches with some of our sport's most technical competitors. Is one of the few people to really have a very competitive match in the IBJJF mats with Gordon Ryan. Very excited to see how he does in the Grand Prix here today.
And now for the next quarterfinal match, representing New Wave Jiu-Jitsu, Giancarlo Bodoni.
New Wave Jiu-Jitsu's Giancarlo Bodoni takes to the mats. 28 years of age, relocated to Austin, Texas back in 2021. Training with some absolutely incredible competitors at New Wave.
And representing GFT, Patrick Gudio.
And he is taking on Patrick Gudio. Very active, as we mentioned, on the scene in 2023. 30 years of age, representing GF team. Looks to be in absolute spectacular shape for this Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. This is going to be a fun match.
In the corner of Giancarlo Bodoni, of course, John Danaher of New Wave Jiu-Jitsu.
Giancarlo and Patrick, no strangers to one another. Giancarlo actually went to GF team in Brazil in 2017 when he was a purple belt. Trained quite a bit with Patrick in the gi. But that was well over 6 years ago. So 2 very different athletes.
You notice Giancarlo immediately tugging over and over on the head. That's something a lot of the New Wave competitors do. It's just that jackhammer style of snapping the head. It makes it's very tiring on the neck to deal with that kind of thing, and it really does weigh on an opponent.
Giancarlo has some really amazing takedowns. Uses this collar tie, like you said, to hang on the neck, destabilize his opponents. Does a great job with his underhooks. He has amazing single legs, foot sweeps. Very fun to watch Giancarlo go through his attacks in his takedowns on the feet.
Getting a little physical out there.
Nice.
Going to
Throw
one hook
by
in.
from Giancarlo right onto the back.
Immediately trying to climb up on the back here.
Use that underhook to nearly get to the back of Patrick Gudio. Good counter by Gudio.
Referee called a stop to the action before that position had ensued, so reset back, possibly neutral.
Giancarlo's so good with the underhook. Shucks that arm by, nearly gets to the back of Patrick Gudio. Now right back onto that collar tie that you talked about earlier, Jake.
Look for him to do that in most of his matches. It's a great way of gauging your opponent's balance as well, seeing how they react to different stimulus so you can set up a quality takedown.
Giancarlo leading by 1 advantage.
Heady collar tie by Patrick Gudio there.
Looks like Patrick was awarded an advantage as well. He's going to be tied up at 1 advantage apiece. Some good work from the feet from both Patrick and Giancarlo.
It's no secret that the new wave competitors have a lot of success in the no-gi scene. And one of the things that sets them apart, at least in my mind, is the emphasis on solid wrestling fundamentals. And we're seeing it here. Giancarlo Bodoni is very comfortable out there.
It's the solid wrestling and takedown fundamentals. And I feel like all the new wave competitors are so well-rounded. They can play the leg lock game. They can pass the guard.
Right into the single leg.
Great single leg setup by Giancarlo.
He's going to look for the back again. But good response by Patrick Gudio that time. Gets that left hit back. Notice Giancarlo's really looking for this shallow right underhook as well. That's how he's nearly taken the back that time. That's how he took the back last time. Once again, looking for that single leg.
Tried to connect his hands. Now goes for that foot sweep.
Looking for the knee tap. Just a game of inches. There you see the coach of New Wave, the inimitable John Danaher.
Professor Danaher and Nicholas Mergali here in support of Giancarlo Bodoni. Giancarlo using those heavy collar ties, trying to break the posture and get a reaction out of Gudio. Patrick showing some really good takedown defense. Some great work on his feet as well.
1 advantage apiece, all tied up here as we near the midway point.
Giancarlo back on that single leg.
Once again, a good recovery by Patrick Gudio, but Giancarlo still with the shallow right underhook. One thing he's been doing really well, Danny, is he's going from the single leg immediately to that shallow underhook to look to take that back control. You can tell that's an attack that he favors. Oh, look at that throw by. Mixing it up on the feet. He's
got a lot of different takedowns in his arsenal. It's really impressive to see him Combine them, chain them together, mix them up. Now he's back to the underhook.
We've seen a lot of very creative aggression out of Giancarlo Bodoni for the 5 minutes and 30 seconds that these two have shared the mats, but gotta wonder as the time winds down how Patrick Gudio is gonna open up.
Guess it'll be interesting to see if they decide to keep it on the feet and keep with this strategy, or if they try to mix it up. Maybe one athlete could potentially pull guard. Giancarlo now with double underhooks, trying to pull Patrick back into the center of the mat. Patrick does a good job clearing one of the underhooks, keeping his hips back, trying to defend that chuck by to the back that Giancarlo executed.
Kept that S
early
grip.
in the match.
Oh, Giancarlo Bodoni given a penalty for speaking to the referee. It's one of those rules. And that changes the dynamic of this match a lot. Oh, Patrick Gudio trying to hit him with the spin cycle takedown.
3 minutes and 30 seconds left. One advantage apiece. Giancarlo has the penalty. Patrick Gudio currently leading. Giancarlo sits to his guard. Using the butterfly hooks, trying to elevate Patrick.
Into the closed guard. Yeah, Giancarlo perhaps sensing that he needed to maneuver into a position where he could score perhaps in a more concrete way. Or even just go for a submission. You see him looking for the triangle here over the top.
Good control of the wrist. Giancarlo going for the triangle. Great setup. Patrick looks like he's going to slip his head out. Giancarlo in on the single. Gets to the back.
Similar situation as last time. He needs to retain top position here, though. Advantage for Giancarlo Bodoni. Regains the lead.
Very nice sequence there, Jake. Almost locked up the triangle. Patrick postures out. Giancarlo nearly gets on top. Gets the advantage, has the lead here now. 2 minutes and 26 seconds left in this quarterfinal match, the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix.
Patrick trying to get a little bit tighter on top.
Giancarlo playing reverse De La Riva now. Patrick trying to drive his left knee forward. Giancarlo 2-on-1 on that far arm. Now he's behind Gudio, tries to get to the back.
Oh, loses the position though. That's gonna be another advantage for Giancarlo Bodoni.
Beautiful back take setup. Patrick did a great job defending it. But Giancarlo now up by 3 advantages. He has 4. Patrick has 1.
Yeah, a much more comfortable lead for Giancarlo Bodoni. What was really not that comfortable of a lead before, right? Still, if the score were to get tied up by Patrick Gudio, that would have been 1 penalty for Giancarlo, but now a lot more room.
Giancarlo been so close on some of his attacks today. Nearly got the back a few times, almost got a triangle. Had some near takedowns. Patrick doing a great job avoiding some of these point-scoring maneuvers. But very impressed with Giancarlo's skill set. Extremely well-rounded.
Yeah, this is a great spot to be with 1 minute left in the match. Close guard. In order for Patrick to get out, he's going to have to expose himself a little bit. Definitely a much different position to get out of in no-gi than in gi.
Gudio stands up. Giancarlo underhooks the leg.
And that's what I mean. In standing up, you have to present a little bit of an opening and be ready to engage your opponent in defense.
Really nice use of the frames by Giancarlo as Patrick tries to put the pressure down. Giancarlo is able to recover, create some distance, avoid any danger.
Now Giancarlo gets that false reap set up right there at the very end. Beautiful stuff. Very technical match between these two. Great display of solid wrestling fundamentals out of Giancarlo Bodoni as he punches his ticket to the semifinal here at the 2024 IBJJF No-Gi Absolute Grand Prix.
Giancarlo Bodoni representing New Wave.
Giancarlo Bodoni advances to the semifinals of the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. He's going to take on the winner of our next match, Roosevelt Souza and Pedro Rocha. That one's going to be coming up next. We got a replay coming up. Take a look at some of this action from Giancarlo Bodoni and Patrick Gudio.
Well, there he is, Patrick Gudio versus Giancarlo Bodoni. Great match, and this was really, most of the match was played on the feet. Giancarlo looking for different opportunities. Right here was a very close back take at the beginning of the match, and you see Patrick inbounds, turns, looks to put his hips on the mat. And this is another situation where Patrick Gudio had to turtle up to avoid the 2 points. Giancarlo would get 2 advantages for that situation earlier. And Patrick did a great job of preventing the concrete points from happening to him, but Giancarlo Bodoni stayed very active and was able to net the victory. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final quarterfinal for the IBJJF Absolute Grand Prix. We've had 3 competitors punch their ticket to the semifinal, and now it's Roosevelt Souza, Pedro Rocha, looking to see who will advance to take on who we just saw was victorious, Giancarlo Bodoni of New Wave Jiu-Jitsu. Excited for this one, Danny.
Yeah, this is an exciting match. Roosevelt just won the No-Gi Worlds, also won the No-Gi Pans in 2023. Pedro, a No-Gi Pan Absolute Champion in 2023. And what I really like about this matchup is both these guys are super dangerous from a submission perspective. Roosevelt has really, really good knee bars, amazing straight ankle locks. Pedro is a guillotine master. That's one of the best guillotines on the planet. Arm in variations, arm out variations. If you give him your neck, it's going to be a short night.
Pedro, very solid wrestling fundamentals and just like all-around freestyle wrestling experience in favor of Pedro Rocha. Roosevelt Souza also received the silver medal in the Absolute for the IBJJF No-Gi World Championship. Had Roberto Jimenez in just a spirit-crushingly deep armbar.
Yeah, that was one of the best matches of 2023. Roberto Jimenez and Roosevelt Souza in the absolute final at the No-Gi World Championships. Both those guys were on absolute tears in Las Vegas. Roberto came out with the victory, but it was a great way for Roosevelt to end his 2023. We talked about it yesterday at the press conference. He said it was undoubtedly the best year of his career as a competitor. Said everything really fell into place. Was training consistently, competing consistently, and the results really shone through.
In the corner of Pedro Rocha, his older brother, and the well-decorated João Gabriel Rocha. Just getting ready to make this next match happen. The officials of the IBJJF are collecting the information and making sure that they are ready to go.
Going to get the mats cleaned off here. Once they are ready to go, we will get the okay and continue on with the action here at the 2024 IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix.
Open class or absolute quarterfinal match. Representing representing Fight Sports, Roosevelt Souza.
Roosevelt Souza representing Fight Sports. Coming out to the mats, 2023 No-Gi Pan, 2023 No-Gi World Champion, 30 years of age, and really in the best moment of his career right now, Jake.
It's a really dynamic competitor, possessor of a deadly straight ankle lock.
Speaking of deadly submissions, we got Pedro Rocha as one of the best guillotines in the world right now. He's a 2023 No-Gi Pan Absolute Champion. So he is no stranger to taking on opponents who are much bigger than himself. 29 years of age, representing Team Alliance. Winner of this match will take on Giancarlo Bodoni in the semifinal of this Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix.
Yeah, Roosevelt along with Heiam, definitely two of the largest competitors in the bracket. Perhaps the mat a little too slick for Pedro Rocha's liking.
Get this mat cleaned off, take some of the moisture off of it.
Our good friend Ethan drying off the mat. I would do an ad read for the brand of paper towels, but I can't see a tag on it, so.
Pedro, like you talked about, Jake, has really good takedowns. Needs all the traction he can get for some of these shots.
And we're back. Beautiful snap down from Pedro Rocha. That's impressive considering the height difference between him and Roosevelt Souza. Shallow underhook for Pedro. Looking for the guillotine. Good chin strap.
He's got his arm draped over the neck. Roosevelt clears the grip. Nice work by both Pedro and Roosevelt.
That's a spot where Pedro Rocha is dangerous.
Extremely dangerous. Vast majority of submissions have come via guillotine.
Whoa.
Oh, and he's right on the guillotine.
Oh my goodness, big snap down into the guillotine.
Roosevelt clears the guillotine.
And now he's
Roosevelt
on the back.
Trying to go for the back. Roosevelt looks like he has the choke in.
Both hooks in for Roosevelt Souza. What a turn of events. My goodness.
Wow. From the guillotine to the defense by Roosevelt, right into the back attack.
And they're going to reset them standing up. One advantage apiece after all that.
Amazing start to this match. This is a quarterfinal of the Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. Pedro Rocha and Roosevelt Souza. We thought this match was going to be based around their submission attacks. And that's what we're seeing so far.
You were right.
Pedro talked about how he trains with his brother, João Gabriel Rocha, on a daily basis. So the size difference doesn't faze him one bit.
That's got to be the best first-round matchup, right, for Pedro Rocha. A great training partner in preparation for a giant like Souza. I'm almost just waiting for something to happen, Danny. I feel like I'm silent because there we go, big single leg attempt.
Talked about Pedro's takedown skills as they walked out to the mat. Roosevelt doing a good job defensively. Now he sits down to his guard. We'll go back to the center. Every time we see Roosevelt compete, we're always talking about his mobility, his flexibility, and the way he's able to play guard like a lightweight, despite being one of the heaviest competitors in this bracket. He's got an amazing guard. It's going to be interesting to see how Pedro decides to navigate it.
Yeah, we briefly brought it up, but one of Roosevelt's signature submission attempts is that deep, conventional straight ankle lock. And he's able to do that because of his ability to dynamically enter different ways into the legs from his guard.
Yeah, it comes from having a good, solid guard. He's able to set up his guard positions, retain his guard, and that leads him into his attacks. We're about 4 minutes into this match, all tied up at 1 advantage apiece. Roosevelt Souza on bottom, representing Fight Sports. Pedro Rocha of Alliance on top. Saw some good guillotine attempts from Pedro. Roosevelt defended them, countered with a near back take earlier in this match.
Nearing the halfway point.
So far, no points on the board.
Roosevelt staying patient, not extending himself too far. Pedro not making really any committal movements. Seems like he's just dancing around the outside. Not looking for really any openings, just sort of staying busy.
Jake, when you're facing an opponent who has such good leg attacks in the form of knee bars, heel hooks, straight ankle locks, is this a good strategy? Kind of stay on the outside of the legs, not get entangled, try to mitigate some of those setups into the legs.
Well, let's compare this to Elder Cruz versus Dante Leone earlier today. Elder was dancing around side to side, but he was continually looking for underhook guard passes, opportunities to leg drag. Now we see Pedro responding a little bit, but what we're seeing right now is we're seeing a lot of side to side, but not a lot of commitment. Elder was continually committing. He was just keeping his legs safe while he was doing it, if that makes sense.
Roosevelt keeps coming up to his knee, trying to engage, make a connection to Pedro. We're 6 minutes in. Still tied at 1 advantage apiece. Pedro on the neck again.
Oh, here we go. Big opportunity for Pedro Rocha.
Nearly past the guard.
And that's an advantage.
And used that guillotine setup to nearly get around the legs of Roosevelt Souza. Roosevelt would not accept the position. Now he's back up to his feet. Pedro leading 2 advantages to 1.
Takes one opening, Danny, for Pedro Rocha to get on the neck.
Roosevelt was looking for those double underhooks. Pedro did a good job defending him. Now tries to pull back into his guard. Pedro disengages. Trying to move side to side. Roosevelt still trying to make this initial connection to Pedro.
One thing I'm reminded of is Pedro moving side to side is forcing Roosevelt to sit up a little further, and that opened up the guillotine earlier. So that's a part of this strategy that I had not considered prior, but after seeing that last sequence by Pedro Rocha, it's got to be a part of the game plan.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jake. See Roosevelt sitting up, scooting closer to Pedro.
Something competitors like John Combs, who has a great guillotine, force their... I was on the receiving end of one. Forces you to sit up so that you get caught in that guillotine, you get caught bringing your head forward, and that favors the person throwing the attack.
Roosevelt gets to the close guard. I think he's pretty happy with this. Wasn't able to get a good connection from the bottom position early in this match. Now he's in a great spot. Start to work some of his attacks. Pedro with his hands on the biceps. Trying to create some space, break this guard open. Roosevelt with quite a significant length advantage. I think that's going to benefit him here in this close guard position, Jake.
Now, this is definitely where Roosevelt needs to be in the situation that he's in. Pedro has been so safe all match. He's up by only one advantage. This is a concrete position for Roosevelt to hopefully make something happen. And just as I say that, Pedro breaks away. And now Roosevelt has 1 minute to make back an advantage.
Well, Pedro back on that guillotine, but Roosevelt pulls him back into the closed guard.
Roosevelt breaking away. Now, in pushing Pedro away like that, Roosevelt actually sort of attributed to the problem, and that is that Pedro, when he's able to move around like this, he's able to evade, he's able to stay away from the entrapments of Roosevelt Souza. Where he usually shines is when he's able to get a solid foundation, a solid grip on his opponent and pull them into an offensive position. Pedro Rocha is given a penalty. He's going to be forced to come forward.
It looks like Pedro Rocha is going to hold on. Just 3 seconds left. Clock is going to wind down. And Pedro will advance here in the IBJJF Absolute No-Gi Grand Prix. Gets the win over Roosevelt Souza. He is going to take on Giancarlo Bodoni in the semifinal. Some really nice exchanges in that match.
And advancing to the semi-final, Pedro Rocha.
And Pedro Rocha takes the win. Had some great guillotine attempts. Roosevelt had some beautiful defense. But Pedro used some of those submission attacks and threats to earn his advantages and to get the victory. So we got Giancarlo Bodoni, Pedro Rocha on one side of the bracket, Kaynan Duarte and Dante Leone on the other. Let's take a look at the replay. Pedro with a good snap down right into the guillotine. Jumps, tries to finish it. It looked like it could have been tight. Roosevelt pops his head out. Here's another good moment here from Pedro Rocha. Gets that front headlock position, tries to go for the guillotine, comes up on top, nearly gets past the legs of Roosevelt. Roosevelt bumping, doing everything he can to avoid points. Ends up getting